What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Just Hansen. I'm back with another upload. In today's upload, we'll be discussing the Adidas AE2 with love. Let's get into it. Before we get into this sneaker, I have a small request. If you guys could like and comment, and if you like what you see, consider subscribing. You know, I do these videos every Sunday, and I post a little bit more on Saturday just for a little bit extra content. But besides that, the question of the day would be, do you guys think Anthony Edwards will win an MVP this season? Let me know down in the comments. As always on this channel, we're starting with the traction. The traction that could be found on the AE2 is a multi-directional herringbone traction pattern. Alright, speaking of the traction, I'll definitely say the traction on the AE2 is good. I don't believe it's better than the 1, but I did enjoy it for the most part. Not only that, you cannot take these outdoors because the rubber on the shoe is pretty thin. It doesn't really hold up well on, like, obviously outdoor courts, and sometimes on like dusty courts you may slip out, but for the most part the traction is good on a well kept clean court. So if I had to rate the traction, I'd definitely say it's like a 7.5 out of 10 for me. It's not the best from his line, but it does get the job done. Next on the AE2s, we're going to talk about the materials. The materials that could be found on the AE2s is mesh, synthetic textiles, and TPU overlays. Now getting into the materials, I'll definitely say the materials on the AE2 do a good job of what they're supposed to, which is keep your foot ventilated and also just be lightweight enough to get you move around the court. However, the problem that I do have with the AE2 is the same problem I have with the AE1, is that the materials, you know, are good, but the shoe itself is heavy. So when you're tired and when you're playing, you're going to feel that weight more and more as you play in those games that are really tight and close. So that could be a problem for some people. So for me, I mainly train in the shoe. I didn't really get to play in a game in the shoe. So I don't really know, or I haven't really felt that, you know, in-game tired while playing the shoe. I've played in the shoe training and I've been tired before, but I was able to obviously get some rest, get some water, take breaks when I need it. But for the most part, you know, the materials were okay. Also for materials, I want to talk about the heel counter and the inner booty construction. In terms of the heel counter is good. You know, it's not like chafing your foot or nothing. It's not bad at all. You know, I didn't have no problems with it. Now the inner booty construction, I did have a, you know, slight issue with it. The padding was good, but like it wasn't like tight on my foot, if that made sense. Eventually I got used to it, in which, you know, it felt fine afterwards, but you know, on initial wear, it kind of felt weird, like around this area. Obviously, I'm gonna pan the shoe and I'll, you know, get some videos so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and you know, you'll have a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. But in that area, or in this area, as you guys will see on the screen, it just didn't, you know, really hug my foot as much as I thought it would, or as good as the AE1 did, if that makes sense. So yeah. Next on the AE2s, we're gonna talk about the cushion. The cushion that could be found on the AE2 is a mixture of light boost and light strike cushion, and it also has a propulsion plate. Alright, speaking of the cushion, I'll say that the cushion is good. It doesn't give you that problem of, like, you know, you get nagging foot pains after playing in it. But I will say that it's not as, you know, good as like the first pair, in the sense that even though this cushion is good, you know, you can wear it on the first wear, it's just a little bit more stiff. It feels a little bit more thin compared to what we had last model, which, you know, sometimes, you know, things change, and depending on how you construct the shoes, something has to be given up. So I guess they gave up, you know, that like loaded cushion and made it a little bit more thinner. And I didn't mind it. It just, you could tell that it felt different, especially if you still have the AE1s, you still playing it like me, you could feel the difference from both shoes. But outside of that, you know, it's an okay cushion setup. It's not like top tier or nothing, but you will be comfortable in the shoe. Speaking on the propulsion plate, which as you can see, it's right there. It's supposed to have energy return and also keep your foot stable and sturdy. Obviously not twisting and turning. Like I said in the last video, like Wembenyama's GT Hustle 3, how like it turn, it's not supposed to like turn over like this. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be stable, sturdy. You're not supposed to have this problem. Obviously you guys can see I can't turn this thing for nothing. Stiff as a brick, which is good. So the propulsion plate, it does its job. In terms of energy return, I didn't really feel it. Then again, I'm not a high flyer, so maybe it's not hitting for me like how it would hit for AE or someone of his stature and like explosiveness. But for what it's worth, it does its job, so I can't complain if I'm being completely honest. So next we're gonna talk about the fit. In terms of fit, I'll definitely say go true to size, but if you can, try them on in store. I'm pretty sure Anthony Edwards is more forgiving in terms of finding his shoes like in JD's, Foot Locker, so on and so forth. So you could definitely go into them stores, try them on, see if you want to go half size up, down, or stay true to size like me. If you live in New York, go to Roosevelt Field Mall. They got an Adidas store. You'll definitely find a pair of these in there. There's no way like you don't find at least Hardens, Donovan Mitchells, and AEs in an Adidas store. Like, are we? What? If you live in Queens, like Valley Stream area, definitely go to Dick's. I definitely say go to Dick's before you go to like Foot Locker or anything, cause it get wicked in them Foot Lockers, man. How I tell you. So definitely check out, Green Acres Commons, Dick's Sporting Goods, and you'll probably find them. Matter of fact, you'll probably find more colorways of them there than you would in Foot Locker. So that's what I say about the fit and where you could find it. Alright, to make a long story short, how I feel about the AE2s, I would definitely say that the AE2s is something completely different from the ones, which is not a bad thing because, some brands, they like to just, ride the same wave from 1 to 3. So, case in point, the Sabrinas. Sabrinas, like from 1 to 3, it's basically the same shoe. But people buy them because sometimes familiarity is the best selling point rather than, changing it up. But in this case, I like the 2s. The 2s are good. They wouldn't break my top 10 or nothing. I would probably mainly train in them rather than playing them. And that goes for the 1s as well. Like, they're not bad shoes. I just feel like for my playstyle, it doesn't work because they're, like, heavy. And I'm more so small. I'm undersized. I'm only, like, 5'7", 5'8". So, like, my speed is my best attribute. So, if I'm playing in a league game, these things are going to be too heavy on my feet. And once crunch time comes, I'm going to be slower than I usually am. So, I probably wouldn't play in a game with them, but I would say, like, if you're training them, if you're more, an AE fan or an Adidas fan in general, definitely cop up. I think a lot of people would enjoy the AE2s. I personally think the AE1s is better, but I will break that down in another video where I compare and contrast the 2 shoes. But outside of that, solid performer. Definitely different from the 1, but still good in its own right. So I can't even be mad at that. With that being said, thank you for tuning into another video. It's your boy, Just Anderson. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one, family. Peace.